Hello students, today we are going to start a new chapter from the book Fundamental of Physical Geography, and our today's chapter is chapter number 8, Composition and the Structure of the Atmosphere. This is a very basic chapter about the atmosphere where we are going to learn about that what are the things that are present in the atmosphere and actually about the structure or the layers of the atmosphere. In case of the atmosphere, you all know air is the main part of the earth mass. 99% total mass of the atmosphere confined into the height of only 32 kilometers from the surface of the earth. The air, we know, it is colorless, it is odorless, as well as can be felt only it blows as wind. Now the composition of the atmosphere. The atmosphere is composed of the gases, water vapors and the dust particles. The proportion of the gases changes in the higher layers of the atmosphere in such a way that oxygen will be almost negligible quantity at the height of the 120 kilometer. Obviously in the atmosphere we know so many kinds of the gases, dust particles and the water vapors are present, and the amount of the gases changes according to the layers also. When we are going higher areas from the surface of the earth, we have seen that amount of the oxygen is decreasing. At the height of the 120 kilometer, there it is negligible amount of the oxygen is present. Similarly, carbon dioxide, water vapor are found only up to 90 kilometer from the surface of the earth. Here in this chart you can see the composition of the different gases. Like you have seen that nitrogen is the highly present, highest amount of the gas present in our atmosphere, that is 78.08. Oxygen 20.95, then argon, carbon dioxide, then neon, helium, krypton, xenon and hydrogen. All these gases are mainly present in the atmosphere. Without this also some other gases are also present. Now the gases. Carbon dioxide, we know carbon dioxide, it is a very important gas as it is transparent to the incoming solar radiation, but it is going opaque to the outgoing terrestrial radiation. It means that when the sun rays are comes, that time the gases are like transparent, so they can come, sun rays can come and touch the surface of the earth. But when it is retreating back or when it is reflecting back, that time actually due to the presence of the carbon dioxide, they absorbs the part of the terrestrial radiation, and due to that the temperature of the surface of the earth increases. It is largely responsible for the greenhouse effect. Already you all heard about the greenhouse effect. The volume of the carbon dioxide has been rising in the very high amount in the past few days, mainly because of the burning of the fossil fuels like the coal, petroleum and all these. And this has also increased the temperature of the air. We know due to the presence of the carbon dioxide or due to the increase of the carbon dioxide, the temperature of the air has been increased. Now ozone is another important component of the atmosphere. Ozone we can see in between 10 to 15 kilometer above of the surface of the earth, and actually the main importance about the ozone, it absorbs the ultraviolet rays. It is the umbrella of the earth, we are telling that, and these rays are radiating from the sun and it absorbs these ultraviolet rays and prevent them from reaching to the surface of the earth. By this way it protects us only. Now the water vapor. Water vapor is also a variable of the gas in the atmosphere only, and which decrease with the altitude. In the warm and the wet tropical areas or warm and wet tropics, it may account 4% of the air by volume, while in the dry region or the cold region like the desert or the polar region, it may be less than 1% also. Obviously in the wet region the amount of the water vapor will be increased, and the dry region the amount of the water vapor will be decreased. The water vapor decrease from the equator towards the pole. It also absorbs the part of the insolation from the sun rays. Insolation means the amount of the sun rays that comes to the surface of the earth, and prevents the earth's radiated heat and preserves the earth radiated heat, and whatever amount of the heat reflect back, it preserves it or it hold it, and in thus it like a blanket, allowing the earth neither to become too cold nor to become too hot. And that's why the water vapor is very much important in our atmosphere. The next one is dust particle. Atmosphere having a sufficient capacity to hold or to keep the small solid particles. It is originated from the different sources including the sea salt, the fine soil, the smoke, ash, pollen, dust and the disintegrated particles of the meteors. Dust particles are generally concentrated in the lower layer of the atmosphere. The convectional air currents may transfer in them to a greater height. The higher concentration of the dust particle is found in the subtropical areas as well as the temperate region due to the dry wind comparison to the equatorial and the polar region. The dust and the salt particle acts as a hygroscopic nuclei around which the water vapor condense to produce clouds. So this is all about the composition of the atmosphere. For today this much only. Next day we will discuss about the structure of the atmosphere. Thank you.